Hey guys, so can you get into astrophotography with binoculars and a smartphone? Come on, let's check it out. My name's Doug. This is AstroAF. All right, hey everybody, hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to be talking about getting into astrophotography, really from the basics and at least how I did it. So initially, the first thing that I did was I just got out there with my cell phone and by hand, I was out there taking pictures and really being dissatisfied with the results, honestly. But it was fun. But what I found was that I really wanted more from it, which is kind of the motive operandi of being into astrophotography hobby is that, I want more. But, the idea here is how can you, as an interested person in getting into astrophotography, kind of nudge your way into it when you're not sure what you need or, how much to spend. Maybe that it's just learning about the night sky. So my first recommendation is always to go search out for your local astronomy club. And there you'll have resources for learning. You'll have other club members that you can talk to about things that you're interested in and questions that you may have. You'll have opportunities to utilize your club's resources, which may include telescopes and observatories and things like that, just depending on the specific observatory and club that you have available to you. And in most places of cities and towns, we'll have, without having to drive too far, some decent resources available through astronomy clubs. So I highly recommend searching out your astronomy club if you're just getting started. And it's just a wonderful resource for all kinds of different things to help you learn and be active in the hobby. But with that said, we're doing this on your own, and you can't always be out at the club, and you want to work on looking at the night sky from your backyard or whatever that may be. Obviously a great place to start is with your phone. You already have one. You don't have to spend any more money in order to get into it. But how can you effectively use your phone, to take some pictures of the night sky? So the next recommendation on that is to get a decent tripod, and just a one that's good and stable, strong, just a standard photography tripod with a mount to put your phone into. And in this particular case, I have a mount with a ball head, and so I can move this anywhere that I want to orient my phone. I also have an additional ball head here, and it gives me the ability to rotate. And then I can also change orientation from landscape into portrait to allow me to really set my phone orientation and frame up shots with my phone. So anyway, all total, this is not a huge expenditure, but it's definitely something that'll help you out a great deal. Because what you'll find with your phone when you're out there and you're trying to line up your target and your hands are shaking and you're getting a bunch of movement in your shot, that it's really hard. And also your phone will probably limit the length of your exposure time based on it sensing that it's being held by hand rather than being in a tripod. Now, with my phone, if I put it in a tripod, it automatically senses that it's stable, and I automatically get longer exposures, so up to 30 seconds. With other software, I can get longer exposures, but anyway, I can get up to 30 seconds without adding anything additional. And to be honest with you, 30 seconds in a non-tracking tripod is the maximum. You're going to start getting star trails at that point where the stars become elongated because of the long exposure and the rotation of the Earth, so the stars are actually moving through your exposure. And the same thing if you're looking at the moon and taking a picture of it, it's going to be moving through your frame, and that'll make things blurry. And so you'll really want to probably stick to around 10 to 15 seconds in that neighborhood of exposure time on a fixed tripod. That will allow you to then get clear shots, and with your phone and zoom and things like that, you can get different depths of field. So it does give you the ability to to do some decent night sky photography and get some constellations depending on your field of view and the moon and things like that. So one thing that can then help, and what I did, I had the idea that, I wonder if I could get like a telephoto lens. They make them, the little ones that you could clip onto your phone. But I never actually did try that. I have heard some good reviews on those, that they do work. But what I did get one year for Christmas was a pair of binoculars, and these are the Celestrons 7x50s, and these are not an expensive pair of binoculars, but they're really good, and I like them a lot. And I have spent a lot of time just going out at night and looking through these, and these help a great deal in locating targets and things like that when it's just, I'm in a Bortle 6 area, and so these do help a great deal in finding targets in the night sky for when I'm doing visual observing. So, and I thought to myself, I wonder if I could get my cell phone to look through one of the sides of my binoculars. And so what I ended up doing was I got this mounting bracket, and it just tightens on to a mounting screw that's here. It's standard. You'll have this on most binoculars where there's a place to mount it to a tripod. And with this bracket here, I can mount it to the top of this photo tripod that I have here by removing this assembly here at the top, and then I can just fit it right into this this shoe that clamps down into the ball head on this. And that allows me to have a stable platform for my binoculars. And now that, without the camera or anything else, I immediately get an upgrade in my visual observing, through binoculars, because I have a stable platform to look through. And I also have a nice smooth ball head on this tripod that allows me to pan around and move up and down and do that smoothly and fairly precisely, because small movements will really make a big difference in your field of view. And so you want to have it be fairly precision as far as, and smooth as far as your ability to move that ball head around. So anyway, that's important. So your mount and what you'll find, and recommended all the way through building an astrophotography rig, is that the mount is the most important part of your rig, and that is true. I do believe that, and I would definitely continue to send that message here and into the future, that the mount is where it's at. And after that, that really allows you to do lots more things with, as far as tracking and guiding and things like that get more advanced. But so anyway, the goal at this point is that we've got some binoculars mounted on a tripod, and we'd like to get some pictures, but holding your phone up to the binoculars and getting this oriented, and then your hand moving around and things, that makes it really hard. It's not easy to get, if you come up with a phone to an eyepiece and try to get it lined up and everything, it's very difficult, and you'll probably, if you're lucky, you might get an okay shot, but you won't have really any stability. So what I wanted to show you today, and this is actually the sponsor of today's video, is Move Shoot Move sent me their Triadapter, which is a phone adapter. And I was like, hey, this is great, because this is actually how I got into astrophotography. And it was, I just sort of kind of grew into it little bit by little bit. And something like this allows you to get connected with your phone, which already has a great camera in it, so you're not in a large expenditure of money, and you can just start messing with it and start taking photos. And what this does is it solves the problem of stabilizing your phone and getting it lined up with your eyepiece, and in this case, on the binoculars. So one of the other things about binoculars that's really cool is that your phone's only going to use one side of the binoculars, and the other one is left open and available, and you can use this for a spotting scope. So then once you get lined up, you can look through this side, you can get it on target, and the other side's going to be nearly perfect. And so all you have to be worried about at that point is getting your phone aligned with the eyepiece of your binocular and then get everything in focus. So this allows you to get to that point. I have a couple more of these, and I like them very much. One of the things about these, especially the cheaper ones, is that they are one of the most fiddly things to get your phone aligned up in the world. And this particular model right here from Move Shoot Move aims to make that alignment process less fiddly and more precise. And it gives you some adjustments here to adjust the height of your phone up and down. And then it gives you another adjustment here, which allows you to move your phone in and out so that you can bring your phone up to your eyepiece. And then this also has sort of a yoke that tightens down with this screw, and that clamps onto your eyepiece, and in this case, onto the eyepiece of the binoculars. Within that yoke, you can actually rotate your phone to help frame your shot up and get the correct angle on your lens lined up with the eyepiece. So without further ado, I wanted to go ahead and get into opening this up and showing it to you and getting you some information about this particular item. And you know, this phone adapter, these types of things, if they work well, are really cool. So let's get into it. Let's take a look at how precision it feels. And then we have some decent weather today, but the moon is not up, so I won't be able to get a shot of the moon. But I do have shots of the moon that I have taken before through these binoculars with this phone. So I will share those with you. But if we have a chance, maybe we can see if we can get an image of the Great Orion Nebula through binoculars taken with a cell phone. I think we have a good chance. It's a bright target, and that will also hopefully give you an idea of expectations to have. Because one of the interesting things about getting started in astrophotography is really having no idea of what things are going to look like when you look at them through, you know, your telescope and your camera. Also with visual observing, and all of the marketing has a tendency to really show amazing images that are probably nowhere near what you're actually going to see. So I'd like to try to give you a good, accurate representation of what you might actually experience, you know, through your binoculars using your phone and an adapter like this Move Shoot Move Triadapter. So let's have a look at it. All right. So we have the Move Shoot Move Triadapter, and they have it as a high precision phone adapter. And it's made from aluminum alloy, and this weighs about 0.5 pounds, so 229 grams. And it's compatible with eyepiece diameters of 2.2 centimeters to 6.1 centimeters, which is 0.86 inches to 2.4 inches. And it's compatible with phones a width of 6 centimeters to 9.1 centimeters, or 2.36 inches to 3.5 inches. And it's compatible with binoculars and spotting scopes, telescopes, and even microscopes. You can use it for, as we're going to, astrophotography or terrestrial photography, and I thought this is interesting. I hadn't noticed that before, but for microphotography. They have their information on here. I think that's their Instagram, is Move Shoot Move. They have a support email address here, and they're located at moveshootmove.com. I have seen them around, and they have some pretty neat stuff. I think a lot of trackers and different types of mounts and camera adapters and things like that. So what we're looking at here is the step 1, 2, and 3 to get your phone lined up and in the adapter. So the first thing you do is to clamp it onto the eyepiece, and then you get your phone aligned. visually, just so it's close, and then you go ahead and get it into the mount, and then you fine tune with the adjustments that they have on the adapter itself. So we'll go ahead and take a look at what we have in the box. And in here, we have a nice bag. Interesting. So this looks like we get a little remote shutter control, which is cool. This appears to work with iOS and also with other types of maybe DSLR cameras. So that's pretty cool. And we get instructions, which I haven't looked at yet, but we can have a quick look at them. As you can see, here's that yoke I was talking about, and this clamps down onto your eyepiece. The phone sits within the bracket and tightens up here. You're able to move the entire phone laterally and up and down, as well as rotate the entire field of view by rotating the adapter on your eyepiece. So anyway, it's 3-axis, X, Y, and Z axis adjustment. And I imagine these are pretty basic. There's not too much to getting these set up. Like I said, they can be really fiddly, and I'm hoping that this one shows that it is a lot easier to get set up with. So anyway, yeah, here's instructions on the Bluetooth shutter remote control, which is really cool. I didn't know that was in the box. And then you can connect to your shutter control with your phone and use it in that way to control your phone camera. So that's very cool. All right, and then in the bag, okay, this is really, really nice. Okay, I have another one. It's of similar design, but it's made out of plastic. It's much thinner, it's flimsy, and it works, and it's really, really fiddly, and it's not precise, and it doesn't hold my phone. I've actually had my phone kind of like fall out of it before. I'm not feeling any plastic in this. This is all metal. So all aluminum. There's some rubber pads right here on both sides. So on this yoke and on the bottom, which are going to be where you connect and clamp onto your eyepiece. So we have eyepiece adjustment clamp here. And we can get that opened up to approximate what we're going to need to get over our eyepiece. We have an adjustment here, which is going to be for adjusting the depth. So this will be like the Z adjustment. So we're able to move the entire phone, in this case, will move on the Z axis so that you can get it lined up close to your eyepiece. And then here, we can move this entire bracket assembly horizontally on the X-axis, and on this side we have a clamp which will tighten down and clamp our phone. There's rubber pads on either side of this clamp to protect your phone. And then finally on the bottom we have our Y-axis adjustment, and this moves this clamp assembly up and down so that we can orient our phone in that way. So let's take a look at putting this on the binoculars. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm just doing it here on the table. However, I would recommend you actually have this mounted on your tripod at this point in time. But we can slide the mount over and kind of get it oriented, and then we can tighten up the clamp. Now you may find, and I think I am here, that this eye relief rubber ring here is going to be in the way, and so you can fold that back on most binoculars to get that out of the way, and then you can tighten this onto your binocular eyepiece. So now that's securely attached to the binocular. It's really nice. It fits well. It attaches well on my binocular. And as you see, as I mentioned earlier, the other side is open that we can then use as a spotting scope. I think that's one of the most convenient things about using binoculars in this way. So then we would just mount our phone in here, and I'll have to show you this a little bit later, but we can mount our phone and get the camera lens lined up with our binocular lens, and then we can clamp it down. We can adjust our phone back and forth on the z-axis. We can adjust our phone up and down on the y-axis, and then we can also adjust the z-axis by moving the phone further closer to the eyepiece. All right, so my initial impressions on this, it's really nice. It's well built, it's all metal, there's no plastic, it has nice rubber protective pads where it's going to clamp onto your phone. It has nice rubber protective pads where it clamps onto your eyepiece. It is solid. Once it's tightened up, there's no give, no play in it. It feels really fantastic. So these adjustment knobs they feel very nice. They're very smooth. It feels really good. And yeah, they are pretty precise. So I would definitely give that to them. As far as mounting your phone, so you could open this up. I have my phone in a case, so we'll see if the phone that's in a case will clamp into. Let me go a little bit further so I can set the phone into the clamp just like so. And then what we want to do is we kind of want to get the lenses, and remember also that you've got 3 lenses, or I have 3 lenses on my camera. You may have 1 or 3, and they may be oriented differently than mine are, but you'll have one that is for like macro photography. You'll have one that's standard, and you'll have another one that's like telephoto perhaps, and you'll need to make sure you get lined up with the correct lens. And I believe that there's a way in your settings to turn off automatic lens switching, so you may want to look for that. So anyway, the phone will mount into the adapter, and then you'll want to initially look at getting that kind of lined up pretty close, and then you can clamp down from there. All right, and so now my phone with the case on it is clamped and it is secure in here. Okay, now at this point, if it were on my binocular, I would be able to, I would obviously have this clamped down, and then I can change the height. So I was lowering it there. Basically what I want to do is maybe get this lens lined up, and we can move it left and right to get it centered. And in that way, I can line up my camera lens, and then on this back one, I can move it closer or further away from the lens of my binocular that's coming through. So, and I'd like to get this as close as I can, so with the binocular lens that's poking through right there, then I can get my alignment. So really very smooth. That was one of the least fiddly camera phone adapters that I've ever used. We'll put it into practice later in this video after it gets a little darker and I can go look for something. We'll see if we can get an image. But in the meantime, let me give you a little bit of a close-up presentation of this camera adapter, and then we'll go ahead and move on from there. let's take a quick look at the Move Shoot Move website for the Tridapter, and I can just show you around there and pricing and what options and stuff that they have available. So I'm over here at moveshootmove.com, and I have navigated over to their Astrophotography store to the Triadapter product page. Yeah, they call it the best telescope phone adapter ever. So, you know, it's a big statement. I will say that it's a really nice adapter. It feels really good. It works really nice. They do say it's precision, and I agree that it is has precision adjustments, which I think is really important to reduce the fiddly factor, if you will. They have a couple different models available. They have the Tridapter only, so this is without the Bluetooth adapter that we saw that I had received. And it's running about, looks like what, $60? And for another $5, you can get the model with the phone adapter. It looks like they've got a pre-order for an extra large version, so I guess this would be for XL phones, larger devices that you might want to mount into there. And then, you know, just looking at their product images, you know, they've got the Triadapter here. Obviously, the moon, that's going to be a great target with your cell phone through binoculars. You know, we have the solar eclipse coming up. You could certainly use it for this. You would definitely want to have a solar filter on your binoculars. So, yeah, never look at the sun directly, and definitely don't look at the sun through binoculars without the appropriate filter in place. Okay, very important. If you ever played with a magnifying glass and bugs when you were a kid, then that's what would happen to your eyeball. Okay, so you've been warned. So, and then the Triadapter. The rest of the product images are reviews and things like that. So yeah, the pre-order notice of the Triadapter XL. We went through the specifications already, and you know, they've got some nice reviews here if you are interested in what other customers have said about the Tridapter. So yeah, it's a really nice, well-built piece of gear, I have to say. It feels good in the hand. The adjustment knobs feel really good. It's attractive. It's all aluminum with nice padding for the areas that you are going to be clamping to. And so, yeah, the Tridapter. I'd like to take a minute and compare this so I can kind of better explain the differences. So if we take a look at, this is the one that I have used in the past, and this is the most fiddly phone adapter I've ever used. One of the reasons is it doesn't have really precision adjustments on it. So first of all, clamping to the phone, it just takes forever. You just twist and twist and twist and twist until you get this where it goes. These rubber pads that are on here, I found kind of peel back and actually will fall off. I've had my phone drop out of this clamp, so it doesn't hold my phone with a case on it very securely. I think if I took the case off, it might do a little better because the phone would fit in these little recesses here of that rubber pad. There is a rubber pad on the back of this as well. This also for adjustment. So once it's loosened up, you basically need to manually slide this up into position to get it aligned, and then tightening it. It wants to rotate, so you're kind of trying to have to hold it steady while you tighten it, and then, you know, obviously this clamps down onto your eyepiece, which that works pretty good. This one here is this is also aluminum, but it doesn't have the same feel or weight to it as the Move Shoot Move does. Anyway, this takes like at least twice as long to get set up, and then if you have to make any adjustments, then you're twice as long again in trying to just get everything lined up. It works, okay, and I have had success with it. It's just not that fun to use. So another one that I have, and this is a good one. This is the Celestrons, and the thing is about this, it does not fit on my binoculars. I have made it work. I have to like get it at an angle to get this up, but this large bracket at the top actually causes interference with my binoculars. Now, if you had like a wider pair of binoculars or they had longer eyepieces on them, this would probably work okay. It has a nice pull-out, spring-loaded keeper that holds and clamps your phone in place. And then it too has precision adjustments. So this one here, you can adjust the tension of this. So once you get this on your eyepiece, then you tighten this down. And then you've got adjustments for moving up and down in the y-axis, and then moving across the z-axis. And then it has a knob here that you can then move to adjust the z-axis here, in and out. So anyway, this is a nice unit. However, I wouldn't recommend it for binoculars. I think it's better suited for maybe a telescope. But this is a well-built and is also a precision phone adapter. But this one from Move Shoot Move, it's kind of the best of both worlds. It has just as good as precision as the Celestron does, but it has a thinner mounting frame here, which fits my binoculars and would fit any others without clearance issues, I think in most cases. So because my particular binoculars, they're pretty tight in there to the center pivot point, and the problem with the Celestron is that was hitting that, and so I would actually have to rotate it this way and then orient the phone. And anyway, this is really the best of both worlds. So it's like light years above quality of the other one that's similar to it. You can kind of get a size comparison here. The Move Shoot Move is a little bit bigger framed, and it's definitely more solid. So anyway, I really like this one. I think it would be a fine phone adapter for you. I am going to give this one away. And I'm going to give this away to members on my Buy Me a Coffee. So sorry, if you're not a member over there, it's going to just be a private giveaway over there. But you could certainly, if you'd like to become a member for other reasons, not for this giveaway, be there, because in the future I plan on giving other things away when I have the opportunities. But for my members on Buy Me a Coffee that potentially might like to have a cell phone adapter for telescopes or binoculars or other optics, then I'm going to be giving this away to you. I also will have down in the links, I have a discount code for the Triadapter with links to information. I'll have a link that's there, and that link is an affiliate link. Okay, so if you do buy, and you use that link, then I'll make a small commission. It'll be at no additional charge to you. And then I also have a discount code available for you, so you could use the link and get a discount if you'd like to purchase this Triadapter. All right, so if there's any advice that I could give you, if you're just starting out in astrophotography, whether it be with a telescope or with a standard photo tripod, so binoculars or a small spotting scope or something like that, is to let's get set up during the day. It makes things so much easier than trying to hunt around for things at night. So, if we take a look around here, it's a beautiful afternoon. It's kind of windy, and these clouds are supposed to skedaddle out of here at about 8 o'clock this evening. So I am going to start a session on this one, and if I can get polar aligned prior to the clouds clearing out, that would be cool, because then I can just set it and and hit the go button on it. So as far as the binocular setup here, I wanted to show you that. So let me flip the camera. So I've got my tripod set up and extended. I do have it extended all the way, and this is maybe not necessarily something I'd recommend, but I'm going to do it just to make it easier, because we're going to be looking at a target that is really not quite straight up, but it's up there a ways, and having this set up will make it a little bit easier for the video. But if you lowered the tripod down, it would be more stable. So just so you know, normally I would have this cranked down and I'd be sitting in a chair. To take a look at what I've got going as far as the setup is looking at the shoe. So I've got the mount connected to the binoculars, and the mount is connected to the shoe on my tripod, okay? And then I have the move phone adapter is attached to the left side of the binocular. And the next thing I need to do is basically get set up. And here in the daytime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a distant object like this tree. This may not be in focus, and this is a good example of why it's so hard. So I got it in focus. But anyway, so it's really hard to just walk up to a lens and get a good picture. So we'll show you the difference once I get a phone in here. So give me just a minute and I will show you a setup. Okay, so I have a phone in the adapter now, and I'm starting with the phone a little bit away. And that makes it a little bit easier because I can actually see the lens right now. So I'm going to just start the alignment. So the first thing I'm going to do, I can see that I need to raise the phone up here. This phone that we're looking at has two lenses, and I want to get on the bottom one. And so I'm going to use the vertical adjustment tool on the bottom, and we're going to raise this up. See if I'm going the right way. This is a little difficult to... Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Trying to look at my camera and the other camera at the same time. So we'll raise this up. And if I hit the limit on this, that means I need to move the phone in the bracket. Okay, we're starting to get a picture now. So I want to try and just get this so that it's as round as possible. Okay, we just started to get a shadow in. All right, and then I'm going to move this over. And it's okay if we're off the screen just a little bit. Let me pull it over. But the reason it's okay is because we're going to zoom in a little bit and get rid of this vignetting that we're seeing here. Okay, that's actually pretty good. And I'm just trying to get a nice round circle right now. All right, now I'm going to bring the phone closer. And I'm going to get this circle of image here as big as I can get it in the viewfinder before it starts to lose the edges or anything. You see that darkness coming in there around the edges? That's telling me I need to adjust over. I think we can still get a little closer though. So I'm just going to pull that in. We'll take a look at where we are here. We'll try to center that. Okay, and then we can zoom in and basically readjust. And we're actually in pretty good focus right now. We can focus as normal with the focus on our binoculars as needed. But for the most part, that's pretty good. We'll fine tune that when we get into looking at the sky. But for right now, I'm set up, and so once it gets dark, I don't have to worry about trying to do this in the dark. So anyway, I'll be back when we have some stars in the sky, and we'll see if we can get a shot of something. So anyway, I hope you like this video, and I think this stuff is really cool, and it's a great way for entry level to get into messing around with your phone that you probably already have in an inexpensive setup. I'll leave links to the binoculars that I use and to the binocular tripod mount, and obviously to the Triadapter down below. And if you'd like to try this thing out, I think it's a great way to get into the hobby. So hope you enjoyed this video. Check out these images that I took with the Triadapter, and also some older images of the moon that I took with my phone on the same setup, but it was a while ago. Didn't have a moon available tonight, but I think moon is a great target for something like this. I think it's a really good place for beginners to start getting into the hobby. Hey everybody, I just wanted to jump in here real quick for just a couple critiques of feedback that I wanted to give for Move Shoot Move on the Tridapter. Number one was the remote for the Bluetooth shutter control. While it works great, and this is really cool, I like it a lot, the battery cover on here I found to be really loose, and it's been holding in there okay, but it feels like it could just fall off and lose this back piece, and you kind of need that to hold the battery in. That's one thing, and which I think is kind of minor, but having that more securely connected in there would be something I would recommend. And then on the adapter itself, after I used it for the evening here, I found that the knobs were just a little bit mushy, and there was more backlash than what I initially had thought. So while they work really well and they are very precise, there's a little bit of mushiness, if you will, when you just begin to turn, and it's definitely backlash, and it just gives it a little bit of a cheaper feel. And I think if that were something that Move Shoot Move were to be able to correct, it would have just a really amazing feel to it. The operation of it was perfect. It worked really great. So this is really kind of an aesthetic thing, a feel thing, and I just wanted to give that out as some feedback on this. I feel like other than those two minor things, that this adapter performed really great tonight. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. Have fun with it, and thank you so much. My name is Doug, and this is AstroAF.